So I'm getting ready to make some peanut brittle in the microwave. And I watched some videos on it. I didn't want to stand over a stove and make sure I got it to the right temperature. So I just decided I'll take the easy way out, use the microwave. And it works really good. I've made 2 batches. Turns out good. I'm going to try a little bit something different this time. But what you're going to need is 1 cup of sugar. And if you can get fine granulated sugar, it dissolves easier, but you can use regular sugar. You'll need 1 cup of peanuts. A lot of them say use raw peanuts, but I couldn't find any, so I just grabbed these at Safeway. You'll need a 1/2 cup of light corn syrup. That's the only bottle I could find that size. I wanted to get something bigger. You'll need a 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And I'm using some Pam. I sprayed it in the bowl I'm going to mix it in. And I sprayed it in my mixing cup. It helps things not to stick so much. And I'm going to do something a little different. I'm actually heating up the cookie sheet in the oven. You'll see it in there. I sprayed it with some Pam. I watched videos on guys doing this commercially. Doesn't that stove look sad? Anyway, they pour it onto a heated table so they can work with it longer. So I decided I'll heat up my cookie sheet before I dump the stuff onto it. That way I'll have longer to spread it out. And it's really cold outside, so I'm just going to take it outside for it to cool off. It cools off pretty quick. So what you need to do is take your 1 cup of sugar, dump it into the bowl, and then take your Caro syrup, whatever kind you have, and dump it in there. And I'm going to use a spoon and clean this out a little bit. It comes out pretty good with, let's see, oh yeah, you're supposed to stir it. I guess I better not forget that. See if I can do this with one hand. So you mix it up, you stir the sugar and the Caro together. Let me get that stirred up and I'll be back. Okay, I got that stirred up pretty good. It doesn't have to be perfect. And now what you do is, I don't know if it matters on the microwave or not, but you put it in your microwave for 4 minutes. In my case, I just hit the 4 and it'll cook for 4 minutes. So let's see, my stove is hot, so I'm just going to shut that off now. And that'll keep the pan hot, give me something to work with, and I'll be back in 4 minutes. I just want to go over the ingredients again real quick. 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of peanuts, 1/2 cup of corn syrup, 1 teaspoon or tablespoon, I don't think it matters, of vanilla. And then once it gets heated up and you add the peanuts, you can also add a tablespoon of butter, whatever you want. I've seen people put the whole stick in there, so depends on how buttery you want it. I've also noticed a lot of people have these big mixing bowls that are made out of glass, and with the handle on it, it kind of looks like this, only it holds probably a gallon or 2, 4 quarts maybe, 6 quarts. Anyway, I don't have one of those, so I'm using that white bowl. I tried making it in a plastic bowl, and it got so hot it almost melted the bowl, so I decided not to do that again. And you want to have some hot pad holders or some mitts or something, because this is going to get super hot after you cook it a couple of times. Well, let's wait for that to pop out of the microwave. I also put a dish towel down on the countertop so I don't put a hot bowl right on the Formica. Depending on what your countertop's made of, but helps protect it. I'm also going to try something on half of the peanut brittle. I'm going to add some chocolate chips, because somebody commented that if you add chocolate to the peanut brittle, put it on top of it, or dip it in it, whatever, it makes it really good. So let's see. As you can see, it's really bubbly and it's really hot. So this is where you add the peanuts, and I'm not even going to measure vanilla, I'm just going to add a little bit. And I'm going to grab something and add some butter and then stir that up. There, you can see I got it stirred up. You don't have to do a perfect job. You just want to combine the ingredients. That bowl's kind of hot. Anyway, back in the microwave, 2 more minutes. And then we'll stir it again. Oh yeah, I almost forgot the most important ingredient. Baking soda. you have to add a teaspoon of baking soda so it gets nice and adds a lot of air to it. It gets kind of foamy. Let me grab that. So I took the baking soda, we have a big thing of it, and I went ahead and just dumped it into the measuring cup so it'll be easier. Because my 1 teaspoon measuring spoon is dirty, it's in the dishwasher. So as soon as this comes out of the microwave again, I'm going to add the baking soda, I'm going to stir it up really fast, and then I'm going to dump it into my heated pan, which is still in the oven, staying warm. And this way I'll have more time to work with it. Now, if you had smell-o-vision, it almost smells like peanut butter in my kitchen right now because of the peanuts and the sugars cooking in there. So let's see. Yeah, definitely this is the point where you need the mitts or a hot pad holder because it gets super hot. And yeah, give it about 30 seconds. So there it is. Now I'm going to add the baking soda and stir it really quick. Okay, I got it stirred in there. Now I'm going to dump it into the pan. Okay, so now that it's in the pan, you want to spread it out, get it a little thinner. And I think this is where having a hot pan is going to come in handy because I get more time to work with it before it gets hard as a rock. So we just smooth it out however thin you want it. Of course, the thinner it is, I guess, the easier it is to bite. Easier on the teeth. But I guess you could also use centrifugal force, which I did the other day. I just spun the pan around. See if that helps move it around. Now when it's really hot, I don't know if it's hot enough to do it now, but when it's really hot, you can take the pan, turn it sideways, and it'll kind of drain out on its own. I'm just going to spin it a little bit more, see if centrifugal force does anything, help spread it out. That's probably about good enough. That's as good as it's going to get. Now I'm just going to take it outside. It's about 30 degrees. It'll cool off really fast. You could probably put it in the refrigerator, just leave it sit on the counter. But if you're going to put it on your counter, put something underneath it like a towel so you don't end up burning your countertop. Let me get this outside and then I'll show you what it looks like when it cools off. I almost forgot to put the chocolate chips on, but I did put the chocolate chips on and I zapped it back into the oven for just a minute. I'm hoping that the heat in there will help melt the chocolate because I completely forgot. And then we'll put it outside and let it cool. Okay, I got it heated up. It melted the chocolate. It was still in clumps, like that one. I just took a wooden spoon and spread it out. So let's take it outside and let it cool off for a while. Well, I brought it in from outside, and it's still a little shiny right in the middle here, as you can see. So I think I'm going to take it back outside for another 15 minutes, and hopefully that'll get a little harder like this outside stuff is. I don't want it making a huge mess when I break it and stick it into a bowl. I promised my neighbor some. So let me put it back outside, but it looks really good. I mean, it's cold outside, so the pan's cold. Peanut brittle's cold. But I just don't like all that shininess because that means it's sticky. It's still a little damp. So let me see what 15 more minutes outside does. Voila, it's done. It's not shiny anymore, and it sure does look good. And because of the heated pan, I was able to get it spread out a little bit thinner than normal. So I think that's going to make it easier to eat. I am going to take that table knife. Usually I just use my fingers, but because of the chocolate, I'm not going to. And I've seen them use a metal hammer that you use for tenderizing meat, but I'm just going to chop it. Well, let's see. I'll just do it right now, see how it works. Oh yeah, perfect. Of course, you can make it into as big or smaller pieces as you want. Looks like the chocolate's going to hold it together a little bit. That's okay. We'll back this camera a little bit so you can see better. Yep. You know, normally I would say the bigger the piece, the better, but since I'm giving some of this to my neighbor, I'll make it a little more bite size. Now we always save these containers we get like Kentucky Fried Chicken because they're microwavable and they're fairly good. I mean, sturdy for, you know, free container, so to speak. So I'm just going to put some of that peanut brittle in there, and then I'm going to give it to my neighbor. And just while I got you guys on the camera, I'm going to try a piece with chocolate on it, see how it tastes. Well, I like sweets, and I like peanut brittle, and I like chocolate, so it's like a perfect world. Thanks for watching. If you guys liked it, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Unless you're watching this on TikTok, then you probably can't. But I'm going to have to make a shorter version for TikTok because this is drug on a little bit long for them. Thanks again. I appreciate it.